All right, I'm going to make this one sweet and simple because I had another video up here that was like 20 minutes long of all my thoughts, and there was like no audio on it. I don't know what happened. Just to make sure, I'll turn my audio up here. I don't know what happened. I don't know why the mic crapped out on me like that, but we're going to make this one a little bit shorter. So, I'm not disappointed in tonight's loss. I called this earlier in the season. I said if anybody's going to beat us first, it's going to be the Patriots. If this game was at Arrowhead, I think it would have went a little bit differently. Patrick Mahomes threw 2 picks in the first half, bounced right back, came right back. I thought it was phenomenal how they fought back. You know, it was 24-9 going into halftime. That's probably what really killed us was the first half there. You know, we didn't get in the end zone that much. We had a hard time getting in the end zone. And that was probably the hardest part about it. Defense played stellar in the third quarter. They did all right in the first quarter too. They only allowed 10 points. In the third quarter, they only allowed 3. Those were the 2 best quarters. And then in the second and the fourth, they gave up 14 and 16. So I'm not disappointed with the way that they played. I think the defense played decent. You know, they absolutely didn't play great, but neither did New England's. This was going to be a shootout. If you didn't see that coming, then you're just blind and you don't watch football, or you don't watch football. So hopefully this isn't the only time that we meet. I think beating New England in the playoffs will be, it hurt a lot more than losing this game. The only thing that this could possibly affect is later on down the road playoff standings if we make it that far, which I have hopes that we do, and I imagine we will. They could keep us from getting first place because they now have the tiebreaker over us. But, of course, beating New England in the playoffs is twice as hard as beating them in the regular season. I think Mahomes came back and played really good football. You know, he got kind of cocky there in the first half and tried to fit some throws in where he shouldn't have. The second interception was right before half. He tried to fit it to Kelsey. Didn't work. Got tipped, intercepted. The first one that he threw was to a linebacker. And according to him in his post-game press conference, he just didn't see him there. He just knew that he had Travis Kelsey on a crossing route and he beat his man, so he's going to throw it to him on a time. And he just didn't realize that guy was there until after he threw it. The big winner is New England. You know, their defense had 2 key turnovers and they kept us out of the end zone the whole first half. So, but again, Mahomes missed some open throws there in the first. He looked kind of jittery, which I don't really blame him. You're playing the best team in the past decade, the best team in the past 18 years, and you're in their stadium. And by the way, shout out to the fan that spit on Tyreek Hill. Big middle finger to you, dude. That's so unsportsmanlike. That's so uncalled for and so shitty. You know, just like the fan at Denver that flipped Kareem Hunt off. Like, come on, really? Really? You know, these athletes could snatch you up and break you in half like a toothpick. I wouldn't be insulting them like that. And I've met Tyreek Hill personally. I met him at a sign-on autograph, and he had a full conversation with me. He's a good guy. He does a lot for the community. He enjoys his right to play football. He made some mistakes in the past, and so did everybody else. But that's a whole different story. But the point is, come on, really? Really? You're going to go that low? Did you know technically that's assault? Not the flipping him off, but spitting on him, that's technically assault by law. If it was my opinion and I was Roger Goodell, I would have the security ban them from the stadium on spot. There's no reason for it. You're a fan of the NFL. For you to go out and insult another player or spit on them because they did their job well, and on top of that, we didn't even win. So now he just looks like a complete idiot. That's low. That's very low. You know what? I enjoy football. I enjoy watching it. And there's a lot of teams I don't like. But you know what? I do not wish for those players to get hurt. I don't wish for fans to act the way they do. I mean, come on, are you 10? I mean, you're a grown man. Sit in the stadium, watch the game, enjoy your time there. Don't spit on the other players. Don't flip them off. Don't, there's just no excuse for that. And Tyreek's a good guy, and he doesn't deserve that kind of shit. Nobody does. Nobody does. It doesn't matter if the score's 43-0 and your quarterback's getting blown out. You don't spit on him. You don't flip him off. You don't. It's childish, man. It's childish. It's really childish. So with that aside, I said before the game it was going to be a complete shootout. Like I said, you'd have to be blind not to see that. I said it was going to come down to, I was talking to a guy from Basic Training. By the way, if you watch this, shout out to you, man. He's a true Pat fan. He always has been. He's a really good, solid guy. He's got a good high-end job, had a good military career. He's still a guy I keep in touch with. He was a guy I looked up to at Basic Training. He was a really good guy. And he still is. So shout out to you, man. I'm glad your team got the victory. I mean, even if it means beating my team. I'm glad your team is being so successful. Hopefully, 18 years from now, you'll be able to look back and say, man, the Kansas City Chiefs are doing really good. I'm glad they're doing that good for you because, it's been some shitty years for sure. I mean, not regular season wise, but playoff wise, yes, it's been really rough. But Patrick Mahomes proved a lot to me in this game. If he wasn't so jittery in the first half, I think we could have won the ball game. And I'm not saying mistake wise. I'm saying if he wouldn't have missed Kareem Hunt wide open, he missed Tyreek Hill over the shoulder. He threw it a little bit too far. That was because he got pressured. That's credit to New England's defense for pressuring him. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, man. New England got pressure that Mahomes hasn't seen before. I mean, they bottlenecked him in the pocket, and they made him backpedal. And I think that's Mahomes' Achilles heel. He still put up 40 points, but I think that's his Achilles heel. Bottling him up and making him backpedal. It was really difficult because he's throwing off his back foot. It's difficult for anyone. So he missed those two passes. Travis Kelce, he overthrew him once. And he couldn't quite get it to Tyreek Hill when we went 3 and out. By the way, we only went 3 and out one time. The Pats, they set a record for not punting and committing a penalty all in one game. Again, very disciplined football team. Credit to them. I am a Chiefs fan. I'm a diehard Chiefs fan. There wasn't any bad calls tonight. You got to give credit where it's due. These guys, as I said, these guys in the past 18 years have been the best team in the league. Regardless of record, regardless who they got beat by, they have been an absolute contender for the Super Bowl every single 8 years over these past 18. So you got to give credit where it's due. That's the way that it is. They got pressure on Mahomes that he hadn't seen before. He didn't, there was a couple throws that if they wouldn't have pressured him, he would have had it. So, I mean, they did enough to win. But the Kareem Hunt, yeah, he kind of just overthrew that one. But, who's to say Brady didn't punch it in for a touchdown at the end of the game and win it anyways. So it goes either way, I'm not mad over this loss. I'm not upset. I'm not disappointed. I kind of figured this would be our first one, if anybody. But I'm absolutely proud of how it how it turned out. It was honestly one of the best games I've ever watched, even though my team lost. But just the fact of being down 24-9 at halftime, having 2 interceptions, and they came out and they played their ass off, man. And they came all the way back. And I mean, if they would have won this ball game, they would have snapped streaks. They probably would have been one of the best comebacks in Foxborough Stadium. Or in Gillette Stadium, sorry. I kind of got mixed up. Foxborough, Massachusetts, Gillette Stadium. You get the idea. But I guarantee it would have been one of the best, if not the best comebacks. But this proves a lot to me. 29-4 at half, came all the way back through 4 touchdowns in the second half. He bounced back. You know, he didn't let it bother him. And when you look at it, these guys are the gold standard. I mean, they are the tip top. If anybody you want to beat in the NFL, it's these guys when they're playing hot and they're at home. Credit to Brady. You know, he did what he had to do. But I told my buddy, I said it's going to come down to whoever has the ball last. I mean, there's no defense. There's going to be no defense in this game, and he agreed with me. And when we scored that last touchdown and tied it up, unfortunately, we gave Brady just too much time. And I knew that was going to happen from the second Tyreek hit the end zone. And I just knew that they were going to outcoach us from that point. They was just going to run the ball until the clock got down to where Mahomes didn't have any chance at all, and then they were just going to lob it. And that's what they did, and it won the game for them. So we got two really tough games coming up. We got Denver again and Cincinnati. Denver lost to the Rams today. Oakland got blasted by Seattle and London, and the Chargers beat the shit out of the Browns. So we're still sitting, you know, pretty high. But as I said, I'm redoing this video because the audio didn't work earlier. I don't know why. It's never happened on any other video. But I really like our odds going forward. I think we competed well. There's a couple things that, you know, there's a reason Tom won and Pat didn't, you know. Tom capitalized where Pat didn't. And this game right here is a perfect example of what sets apart the great from the good. You know, and Pat Mahomes is really good, but Tom Brady is great. So hopefully we see these guys in the playoffs again. I'd love to see this game played again, especially in the playoffs with the season on the line. Maybe, hopefully, in a different stadium. I mean, the only thing we'd really be playing for at this point, playoff-wise, is the tiebreaker. You know, they got the tiebreaker over us because they beat us. So hopefully we can max them out on record. But again, we played a really good football team. We fought them hard. We made some really great adjustments, and this just proves that the game's never over with Pat Mahomes. I mean, it's not over until the clock hits 0. So I think we got a good quarterback. We got a good team. We got a good chance. Defense just got to stiffen up a little bit. I think Lucas played really great tonight for being thrown in at safety. Personally, I think Bob Sutton did pretty good with the personnel that he had. There was a shitload of guys out on defense tonight. We almost had to put a wide receiver at safety because we didn't have a safety. That's why Lucas played. That's why we got Lucas, because we didn't have another safety. And he stepped in and he played really good. Breland Speaks played pretty decent at linebacker in for Justin Houston. Again, rookie, never played in the NFL, never had a start. So they played, you know, they played decent with what they had, and I think they got some key stops. And of course, at the end of the game, look, man, it's hard for any team to stop Tom Brady at the end of the game. I mean, I think he had 42 fourth quarter game-winning drives or overtime. And now it's 43, if I'm not mistaken. All I know is it was in the 40s. So, I mean, the guy has a record for doing that. And when you give him that much time, it's rough. You know, we didn't get a whole lot of pressure during the night because we was trying to cover everybody. And they didn't have a 100-yard receiver. They really gashed us on the ground, though. That's what killed us. Sony Mitchell ran it down our throat, 24 carries, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill went off. Kareem Hunt went off. It was a really good game. It really was. So on that note, I'm going to get out of here. Tomorrow night I'll do the Week 6 recap. As I said, I think we proved a lot of things tonight. We can compete with the gold ticket. We're going to lose more games before the end of the year, and they're not going to be as good as New England. But I'm sure somebody's going to figure out our formula and beat us again before the end of the year. But, you know, this is the gold standard, and we played pretty damn good against the gold standard. If we just fix what we didn't do in the first half, we can put a game together and beat the New England Patriots. So, you know, a genius coach, a genius quarterback, it's hard to beat that combination. And that goes for any team in the NFL. So, I'm going to get out of here. Again, great game. any diehard true Patriot fans out there that aren't bandwagoners, congratulations, man. I mean, you put Mahomes in the dirt for the first time this season. He still played really good, but you guys beat him. So I'll give credit where it's due. One no foul calls, one no shit calls. It was just a really well played ball game, and the Patriots came out on top. So I'll give credit where it's due, as much as I hate New England. Good game. Good game. We played a good football team. We got beat. Plain and simple. So moving on next week. Next week we got Cincinnati. So we need to play better there, and we need to play better against Denver when they play here. So that's it. I'm going to hop out of here. Thanks for watching.